What's up? Welcome into your Daily Buckeye Blitz for a spring game. It's your spring game instant reaction, April 13th, 2024. Obviously, a little later than your normal Daily Blitz. Usually you get them around 6 a.m. in the morning. Like I announced yesterday, I would be doing today's Blitz right after the game. So, what you guys think? Really would love to get your opinion. Call, text, email. Um, leave a message in the comments. You know how to get a hold of me. So, love to know what you guys think. Things you like, didn't like. We talked a lot about on Friday, the live show. We talked about positions we were focused on. You know, we talked about the tackles, right guard. We talked about quarterbacks, of course. So linebackers, of course. So let's get into it. I'll give you my instant reaction. I'm going to give you like the starting lineups and then some stats. You know, there weren't really official stats as far as I know. And then we'll talk about some of the big plays. And the drives, especially from the quarterback's point of view, you know, where they were successful and stuff like that. And I'll give you some overall notes things that I noticed generally from the game. So here we go. Oh, freaking, what day is it? Ding dong. Sunday night, me, Jeff, and Sean will be back. We'll get their instant reactions relatively, half-baked reactions of the spring game and things they were watching. And obviously we got to talk about the quarterback battle. You know, we'll be talking about that. So 7:30 p.m. Eastern, live here on YouTube. So check us out. So my instant reaction, I love seeing the 80,000 strong in the shoe. That was lovely. It looked like a beautiful day in old Columbus town. Good to see everybody coming out. Looks like they had quite a few walk-ups. If Ryan Day said they had over a 50,000 purchased the other day, you had another 25 or 30 walk-ups, so 1,000 walk-ups. So starting lineups look like this. On offense, you had Will Howard start with the ones, then Travion Henderson, Carnell Tate, Emeka Egbuka, G. Scott, Patrick Gerd were your starting tight ends. Josh Simmons, Donovan Jackson, Seth McLaughlin, Carson Hinsman at right guard, should be noted, and Josh Fryer still at right tackle. So that right guard position we're looking at like a 3 or 4 man pivot here. I don't know. I can't tell who's the number 1 and who's the number 4 though. Don't ask me, man. Starting lineups on defense, you had Jack Sawyer, JT, of course, and Ty Hamilton. Hero Canoe started at D tackle, and then your linebackers were CJ Hicks and Cody Simon. CJ starting at the will. Then your corners, of course, Denzel, IGB, Jordan Hancock in the slot, Caleb Downs, your deep, and then Jaden Bonsu was in for the injured Lathan Ransom. So Ransom's still recovering and didn't need to be out there straining himself. So guys that were unavailable due to injury for the game, Brandon Ennis, you saw him a couple times on the scooter. Hopefully, they just called it a procedure. Hopefully, he's back for summer workouts and then, of course, fall camp. Reese Stocksdale was out. Miles Walker, second-year tackle. Peyton Pierce, he had an injury lingering from his high school season. So he's the middle linebacker. Court Williams still nursing that ACL he tore almost, 8 months ago? It was August of last year. Bryce West was out. I think he did suit up. I thought I saw him out there in full pads equipment. Lorenzo Styles Jr., you saw he had a procedure on his shoulder or his arm. He was in a sling. Malik Hartford was out there holding him out. Jahad Carter still unhealthy, and then Lathan Ransom, of course, was out. Dallin Hayden was not in attendance at all. Probably a good move. You don't need to draw the ire of Buckeye Nation because you're just going to get shit on. You know, if Twitter wasn't bad enough, try showing up in person somewhere. So, anyways, good call by him as he's going to enter the portal on Tuesday. So, Final score officially was the Scarlet, which is the offense, won 34-33 over the Gray or the defense. I don't know. Seemed like a pick six there to finish the game for the defense, though. But they called that, waved it off and called it back by Archie Griffin's grandson. So Will Howard was 8 of 12 passing for 61 yards. Then Devin Brown was 6 of 8 for 84 yards. He did have an 11-yard touchdown to Brendan Schramm. Yeah, it's what happens when walk-ons get involved. I have to try and pronounce weird names. Then you had the true freshman Julian Sand. He actually looked really good, 9 of 15, 74 yards, but did have the pick, of course. Lincoln Keenholz was 10 of 16 for 72 yards with 2 interceptions, not getting better. Aaron Nolan played in the second half only, but he was 6 of 8 for 51 yards, also had an interception. So as far as the receivers go, Emeka had 4 catches for 47 yards. Jeremiah, we were waiting for him to go off. They tried to target him, multiple times in the corner of the end zone and stuff, and just had 2 catches for 13 yards. Had that one deep ball that he tried to come back for. It was a little underthrown. Couldn't quite haul it in and was falling down. So he also had 1 carry for 4 yards. So, and I mentioned the touchdown by, what's that kid's name? Brendan Schramm, the walk-on. So let's go. Oh, running backs. Yeah. You had Quinshawn Junkins had 4 carries for 31 yards. TC Caffey had a touchdown run late in the third quarter. Sam Williams-Dixon ended up with 10 carries for 71 yards and a touchdown. James Peoples, 10 carries for 39 yards and a touchdown. I didn't see numbers for Trey. I'll have to look that up. Trey didn't have too much action. I think he had a reception out of the backfield and maybe just a couple carries. I didn't see much out of Trey, but you didn't need to anyways. So, yeah, everybody got in there. On the defense, you had interceptions, 4 of them, by Jalen McClain, Inky Jones, Calvin Simpson-Hunt, and Deontay Griffin, grandson of Archie. C.J. Hicks led all the defenders with 6 tackles. Jason Moore had a sack. Hero Canoe, Caden Curry had sacks on back-to-back plays. Jack Sawyer, Mitchell Melton had sacks. So everybody got in there from the D-line, got in the backfield. So, it's always a good and bad thing in these practices and spring games when, like, say, a sack or an interception. Was it a great play by the defense or was it a bad play by the offensive player? So maybe it's a little bit of both. But the Ohio State offense is not going to face a defense as good as this defense. So you got to keep that in mind when you're watching this and you're, saying the O-line sucks. Well, they're going against NFL D linemen. So, it's that balance, but so Will Howard and Devin Brown, they each played in the first half. They split series with Lincoln Keenholz and Julian Sand. Then Sand, Keenholz, and Aaron Nolan finished up the entire second half. Howard completed his first 3 attempts for 27 yards to start the game, and that was with the first team offense. So everything that these quarterbacks do, we're going to analyze and overanalyze, right? But it's important to know who they're running with out there at times. He missed Carnell Tate on a deep ball in the end zone. That would have been nice to get. So maybe the accuracy issues are still there for Will Howard that we've heard about. Then Jack Sawyer ran through Carson Hinsman for a sack right after that. Keenholz started the game with the second string offense. Mitchell Melton got in there, forced a sack for a punt, forced a punt after a sack. Then Devin Brown took over with the first team offense. So both quarterbacks, Howard and Brown, got their crack with the first team offense, which is important because, you got to compare apples to apples here at times. So he had the best drive. He drove the offense down into the red zone, but they missed a possible touchdown pass to Carnell Tate again with Davis and Igmanosin in coverage. That was happened multiple times through the day. It looked like IGB was just blanketing these guys, and the refs obviously weren't calling any penalties until the very last drive for some reason. Anyway, then Julian Sands' first drive with the twos ended with a sack by Edric Houston. Good to see Houston get in there. Then Howard came back for the fifth drive. Emeka had the awesome one-handed grab on the sideline there for 18 yards. Then they had 3 straight incomplete passes from the 14-yard line. 2 of them were intended for Jeremiah, and 1 was intended for Emeka. They ended up with a field goal. The offense was kind of staggering there a bit, not, starting and stopping, not really flowing, but again, it's an awesome defense, man. This could be the best defense in the country. So Keenholz, he had a terrible pick to CSH for his first interception, threw the ball right to him. I know it was a little windy and maybe he was throwing into it, but you got to drive that ball or something. And I think his timing was off. It looked like he should have thrown a couple passes sooner, earlier, whatever. But Brown had the best offensive drive of the day. He ripped a 25-yard pass over 2 defenders to David Adolph, again, walk-ons at receiver. Then that 11-yard touchdown pass to Schramm. Sands' best drive of the day was in the third quarter. He got downfield passes to David Adolph and Will Kazmarek. Then Peoples finished the drive with an 8-yard touchdown. I like to see Peoples. He's got some legs, man. He's got some power. Aaron Nolan also led a touchdown drive. It's good to see Air out there. Freshman running back Sam Williams-Dixon ended up with the 22-yard touchdown run on that drive. Caffey also had his 4-yard touchdown run later. So, yeah, good, bad, and ugly, a little bit of everything. Obviously, you can't pick a quarterback from just this practice, but, they're going to assess everything, and they've got to have meetings with basically everybody on the team between now and Tuesday, So the corners are going to be a big problem this season for opposing offenses, which I'd love to hear. Then Will Howard, Devin Brown, they are obviously 1A and 1B. Then everybody else is down here. So it's no surprise. They took care of the ball. Howard got the ball out fast and mostly in the right place. Again, a little bit of accuracy issues there. And Brown showed his ability to tuck it and run and scampered for some serious yardage. That was good to see. But Lincoln was better than the last time we saw him in the Cotton Bowl when he was getting railroaded. But he made that terrible decision on that INT. Julian Sand has the arm and really quick release, but he didn't have much time to operate. And then Aaron Nolan showed both his arm and his mobility, scampered for a few first downs there. So all in all, the QBs are a lot of what we thought. There's a reason why they're in this order, but running backs, James Peoples showed his toughness. He keeps his legs moving. SWD gets upfield and showed his speed, which at his size is kind of smaller, so you better be fucking fast. TC Caffey, he runs hard on every single play. I'm going to ask the question, can we get this guy a scholarship? What's he have to do to get a freaking scholarship here? So O-line, tackles struggled, of course, but look who they're going against. The biggest runs of the day came in between the tackles. They're going to face some elite pass rushers over the years, so the portal is going to have to be an option, if nothing else, for depth. You might not find a starter, but you might. The rumors are that this is going to be just an exodus into the portal across the country. So we'll see what pops in there. Back to the right guard. thing. Tegra played a bit at right guard. Luke Montgomery was in there too. And like I mentioned off the top, the starter was Carson Hinsman at right guard with McLaughlin at center. So I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on there. You got 4 guys. So anyways, well, that's 3 at least, but who knows if there's somebody else that's getting practice time, you know. We didn't learn much about the will linebackers. That's really the only position up for grabs on defense. So everything else is pretty much set in stone, you know, as far as secondary, linebackers, front 4. So you did see a lot of formations used by Chip Kelly. That was interesting. I don't know if you're going to see a lot of that T formation, but give me all of that. Give me about 5 to 10 snaps of that T formation with Judkins and Henderson both in the backfield next to Will Howard or whoever the quarterback is. And at the same time, yeah, that sounds like a win to me. So, again, sluggish. I mean, you're going to have that. If the offense goes out there and lights up the scoreboard, then you're looking at the defense like, where the hell were you guys? You know, what are you doing out there? Especially with all of the studs, all the NFL talent that has come back that everybody makes such a big deal about. So, all in all, it was good to see the guys out there moving around. We got to see Jeremiah suited up. He is a big freaking dude, man. I don't know how these corners are going to cover him in the Big Ten or elsewhere. I don't know how corner's gonna man him up. You can't, you won't. So anyway, that's my take. Let me know what you guys think. Who stood out to you? Did the offense do anything for you? Did the quarterbacks do anything for you? We'll be talking more about the quarterback battle between Devin and Will Howard. I think it's obvious that they're, you know, 1A and 1B. Who is first? We'll see. But that's all I got for you today. Don't forget, Sunday night, YouTube Live, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll talk to you then. Go Bucks.